I explained this in yesterday's stream. So you can use anything like Synchy, Modelist, Spocket, DS's, whatever. It doesn't really matter which you use. The only purpose that those apps really serve is to allow you to be able to easily find suppliers. Once you use those apps to find suppliers, get the supplier information from the app and go to their website, contact the supplier directly and ask them if they have any direct integrations for Shopify or whatever platform you're using. And if they don't, just ask them, can you just have their catalog? I can guarantee you they will still want to work with you. And the reason is because these supplier marketplaces, I know this because we're on Synchy, for example. These marketplaces, they charge the suppliers fees every time that you process orders. So they would much rather work with you directly. Chances are you may even be able to get better prices. So only use those apps. Don't pay for them. Just use the free version of the app. Install the app. Use it as a directory to find suppliers who sell the products that you want. Then go direct. You need to get a one-to-one relationship with your supplier if you're going to be successful in the long run. That's what I would recommend. Too many people pay for those apps and then you're just spending money needlessly. You don't need to pay for them. Most suppliers, if they're a decent dropship supplier, like we are for example, will be able to provide you with an integration for the platform that you're using. Like for example, if you come and sell our product, we can supply you with a full integration that allows you to list all 3,000 of our products in our catalogue directly to your Shopify store, like instantly with a live catalogue sync. Most decent suppliers should be able to provide an integration similar to that. So that's what I recommend. We do not need to use these platforms. Basically, they're a waste of money. You'd be better off spending that money on working with and collabing with individuals on social media to actually help you promote your brand and build your store. I can give you a full guide on that. If you go to my website, there's a link in the description of this video, and there is a how-to your first 10k with Shopify guide, completely free guide. Tells you exactly basically how you go from 0 to 10k with Shopify. That's exactly how we do it with all the stores that we build. We build stores for, basically we have clients, we build stores from 0, take them all the way to 10k. Every time I do it, the process is exactly the same. No paid ads whatsoever. Social media influence is the way to go. So basically, it's that, you know, they have a utilization where if for example, if you're doing like 100 orders a day and you want to automate that, then yes, they can automate it, but it is really expensive. You know, your supplier, if you go direct to the supplier will have a way of being able to process that many orders for you quickly, with zero cost. You know, you've got to understand you're drop shipping, so your margins are really tight as it is. You don't want to add middlemen to. You want to eliminate as many people out of the chain of who's getting paid in order to make as much money as you possibly can. When you're just starting out, you haven't got enough order volume in order to benefit from what these platforms are able to do for you. They're automation platforms. You know, they allow you to automate the process of sending the orders over to your supplier, so it's basically completely hands off. But most decent suppliers will have a way of automating that for you already, just like we do for the people who resell our products. The problem isn't that the stuff you're trying to sell is bland and basic. That's not the problem. So most stuff, the majority of stuff will sell if you can get enough traffic to it. The problem is always traffic, right? It is always traffic. It's almost never your store unless you've got really low effort, but it's just traffic. It's always traffic, right? That's the number one problem. Too many people are like, they hop from product to product to product to product, and you're in that continuous cycle. You never actually build real traffic. You know, you have to understand that, you know, conversion rates, let's just think of all industries, right? So general conversion rates, drop shipping, let me tell you what's good and what's bad, right? So if your store is converting less than 1 in 100 sessions, right? So a conversion rate lower than 1%, that's bad, right? You've got a problem there, right? It means your pricing is wrong. There's something wrong with the way that your store looks, the way it's set up. Something is wrong, right? Your delivery's too high. So that's a conversion problem, right? If your conversion rate is lower than 1%. But say, for example, your conversion is over 4%. If you're converting 4 in 100 customers, well, that is excellent. I don't know why some people seem to think that they should be converting like at 20%. I mean, it's just not going to happen. It's never going to happen, right? You're going to need to be selling iPhones for £100. Even if you were selling a brand new iPhone 17 or something for £100, you still wouldn't convert 100% of people. So you have to understand, first of all, basically where the conversion rate should be, right? So you need to be somewhere between 1 and 4%, right? That is ideal. And when you're between 1 and 4%, you can then work out very easily, it's just a math question of how much traffic do I need to convert. I mean, if you're getting no sales at all, then obviously, like I just said at the beginning, that's just a conversion problem. You've got to think, right, conversion problem. So it's going to be your store, your shipping costs, or your pricing. Basically, that's pretty much it, right? Unless you're getting just completely junk traffic, but then I'd have to ask, how are you getting traffic, right? So if you're running paid ads to your store, first off, I would ask you, like, how would you plan for that to be profitable? Because unless your product is, I don't know, $200, $250 plus $300, you're never going to be able to get paid ads to work, because the cost of running those ads, it's impossible. I don't know why people can't figure this out, right? It's impossible to run paid ads profitably unless you've got super low cost per clicks and really high conversion rates. And I'm talking about conversion rates which are higher than the general average that you should be aiming for, like between 1 and 4% is pretty normal. You know, if you're getting conversion rates above 4%, it's pretty damn good, right? So paid ads are just not going to work unless you're doing high ticket dropshipping, so just don't even bother spending your money on it. The way that you get traffic is organic, right? And you do it through social media, but you don't do it by, it's not SEO and it's not, that's all bullshit, right? Just basically SEO is such a long-term game that SEO does itself, right? Shopify is already massively scored on the SEO side of things just by the way that they've built the platform. It is, out of all the platforms out there, Shopify is the best optimized SEO platform in the world. So you don't even need to worry about SEO. Shopify have already figured all that out for you, right? So over time, your store will get indexed by Google and you will get organic traffic, right? You don't need to worry about that. You need to actually worry about how you're going to get traffic in the beginning when you first start out. And the only way to do it, and this is the only way to do it with basically low ticket dropshipping, which is what everyone sits in, is to use other people's audiences to promote the products you're trying to sell, right? And basically what this entails, I've got a full guide for this on my website, by the way. It's completely free, this guide. You can go and check it out now. The link in the description or the top of the chat. Go to my website, click on the menu. There is a how to your first 10K with Shopify. That is the complete social media influencer strategy that you need to use. It tells you how to reach out to people, tells you what to say to them to get them to collab with you. It tells you how to set up your offers. It tells you what to do, what not to do. Basically, how to grow your business with social media influencer marketing. And I highly recommend music down. No, it's not. It's going over. That is basically how you do it, right? So I would go and check out that guide. You need to use other people's audiences because you've got no audience whatsoever. You have no way of, if you post just product images from your supplier on your social media, you're not going to get any traffic at all. But like it mentions in the guide, the purpose of posting on social media every day is not for you personally through your brand page to drive traffic, because you're never going to do it because you've got basically shit quality posts. No one's going to engage with that stuff. You know, everyone's posting the same sort of crap. No one, it just looks generic. the only way to get people to engage with your own social media and grow your own audience is to actually repost content that your effective brand reps, people who are supporting your business by creating content, sharing their audiences, they create the content for you, and then you repost that content, right? That content then gets engagement, and that's how you grow your own social media audience. There is honestly no other way of doing it apart from that. That is the only way that you can physically do it, right? You have to collab with people, you have to literally reach out to them. This means spending all day or all of your free time in the beginning just sending DM messages, collab invites to individuals on social media saying, do you want to collab with my brand? I will give you XYZ product in exchange for free promotion. You create content, you share with your audience, you tag us, right? And you just basically do that, and you just send out 100 DMs per day, or as many as you possibly can. Obviously in the beginning you're not going to be able to do that because of DM restrictions. It explains it in my how-to guide on how to get around that by using multiple platforms. But as you grow and you start getting engagement on your posts, those DM restrictions will be lifted, and you can easily get to being able to send 50 plus DMs per day on a single account, right? But that takes time to get there. But this is the only way to actually grow organically, is this way. But it's not glamorous, it's not easy, and it is hard. And the hard part is actually just putting in the work of, reaching out to 100 people per day. And out of those 100 people you reach out to per day, maybe only five of those individuals will actually take you up on your offer and actually have free product from you. The thing is, what a lot of people do and get wrong is that they offer free product to these individuals on social media, but the problem is it's full of scammers, right? People who just want free stuff for free stuff's sake, and they will happily take it for you. If you say to somebody, I'm selling this product, do you want to try it out for free? And all you need to do is just create some content with it, blah blah blah. They'll take it off you, right? So what you need to do is you need to put filters in place, right? So you need to filter these individuals. So first off, only reach out to people who are interested in the type of products you sell. That's a good start. You can do that by just using hashtag filters on Instagram and stuff. If you actually install the Shopify Collabs app, that actually allows you to essentially build a brand ambassador program, and you can use the filters inside of Shopify Collabs to find individuals who are suited for the type of products that you sell, by just using keywords, right? And you can filter by audience size and stuff like that. But that's another key part of it, is when you're just starting out, is audience size. Again, it does say this in my guide on the website. Audience size is super important, because when you just first launch your brand and you open social media, you have 0 followers. So what's going to happen is people are going to you're going to DM people and say, look, if I give you this free product, do you want to work with my brand? The first thing they're going to do is they're going to go to your social media page, right? Because that's the easiest thing for them to do. Because look, you're sending them a DM, the easiest thing for them to do is just click on your username and check you out. The moment they do that and see you have basically almost 0 following, right, and no posts on your page, they're going to be like, well, this is obviously a scam, right? So you got no chance of them even replying to you, right? They may even reply with scam or whatever. So the point is there's no point reaching out to like people with like 50,000, 100,000, 500,000 followers. They're never going to work with you in the beginning, because you're two ends of the scale, right? You need to work with individuals who are more your size, right? And the way that we do this in the beginning is we recommend that you reach out to people between 1,000 and 15,000 followers if you're just starting out, because that is where we've got the best results, right? And we've done this with multiple stores. So in the beginning, what you need to do is, the only content that you have is product images from your supplier, right? That's crap content, it's not going to get engagement, but that's not the point. What you need to do is post that content daily, your product images, right? Post that content daily to your grid on Instagram, right? And the reason why you do this is because as you reach out to individuals asking them to collab with you, right, to promote your brand, the first thing they're going to do is check out your Instagram. And when they do that, you need a grid full of product shots so that they instantly know exactly what it is that you have to offer, right? and you don't look scammy. There's nothing more scammy than just going to an Instagram page with 0 followers and just no posts whatsoever. So the more posts that you have in your grid, in the build-up to before you start actually reaching out to people for collab on Instagram or TikTok or wherever, you need posts so that they can physically see what it is that you're actually trying to offer them, right? Because they're not going to want to click through to your website, because most people, they don't like to do that. They don't, especially if they think it's possibly a scam, they're not going to want to click. They might think you're trying to steal information or something. People get really weird by this stuff, right? So, but they're happy to click on your profile on Instagram because they know that's safe. So most people post product images on social media with the sole intention of driving traffic to their store, but it never works, right? Because the stuff that they're posting is just shit, right? You will not be able to generate content that's going to get likes, comments and shares, right? You're not going to be able to grow your Insta. The only way to do it is to get other people to create the content for you and then repost and share that. Until you can do that, okay, and you only do that by actually reaching out to people and inviting them to collab with you, until you do that, you can only post these shit product images, but not for the purpose of driving traffic. It's for the purpose of just showcasing what you have to offer these individuals. So in the beginning, the only customers that you have that you actually want are what we call collabs, right? These are people who are paying a small delivery fee for you to send them free product, right? You don't spend money on ads. You spend all that money that you would go and waste on ads, you just put that into free product and send it to people who actually do want to collab with you, but make them pay a delivery fee. Super important, because that is the number one easiest way to make sure that you do not get basically scammed yourself, people just taking free product and then ghosting you and not even promoting your stuff, right? So that in a nutshell is how you do it. The guide on the website is way more in depth than that, and there's a whole video I recorded on it which basically explains the entire process. An hour-long video on YouTube. I would highly recommend that you watch the whole thing all the way through. Just go to my website, click the menu, how to your first 10K on Shopify. Go and watch the video, read the full guide. It gives you basically exactly what it is you need to do. That is what you need to be spending 100% of your time on if you want to be able to grow your Shopify store. Do it organically without wasting money on paid ads. Alright? Yeah, it doesn't matter what you sell. What you sell is irrelevant. You can sell anything with traffic. That is a belief. That is a limiting belief that you have. Thinking it's always the product. It's never the product. It's always the traffic. The thing is, you need traffic. You need enough traffic to understand where the problems are, right? You need enough traffic to know to look at the conversion. So if you've got traffic, then you can look at conversion, and then you can decide, well, where's the conversion at? You know, if you've got no conversion, then it's probably price, right? If you're driving targeted traffic, if people are recommending, so if you reach out to people, you DM people, and they collab with you, you're sending this free product, and they're recommending that free product to their audience, that traffic is targeted. Those targeted recommendations, that traffic should convert. So if that traffic is not converting, then I can almost guarantee you've got a price problem, right? You've got a price problem. That's what I would say. And then if it's converting above 2%, you know, or 3%, 4%, then great. Everything else is just minor tweaks at that point, just to sort of squeeze the conversion as high as you can. But if you want to grow, just focus on getting more people to promote you. You know, when we set up these brand ambassador programs for our clients, what we do is we set up an initial welcome voucher, and then what we do is we set up recurring monthly vouchers so that we can actually compound our brand program. So they get the welcome voucher initially, then if they spend the welcome voucher on the website, they get free product, they create content. As long as they've done that, we'll send them a monthly voucher next month, and then they can order again. So what happens is you continue to reach out to people just indefinitely, building your brand rep program so you have more ambassadors promoting your store. I mean, we've literally got stores with over 2,700 brand ambassadors in their program. They are individuals who are able to order free product and every single month and promote these stores. That is how you drive mass amounts of traffic through social media organically. Sheer brute force, sheer volume, guys. But it's, you know, it's labor intensive, man. Labor intensive. DMing 100 people per day, that is tedious. You know, that is pretty tedious. And then you need, you know, you need your brand rep program set up in the right way. You need to be remarketing, sending emails, reminders, telling people to use their vouchers. But all of that stuff is available on my website for free. If you go to my website, if you create an account, that's completely free. You get access to our retailer app, and we've written guides for all of our resellers explaining them how you do all of this stuff. So if you want access to that, go to the website, create an account for free, and you can have access to the retailer app, and you get access to all the information for free yourself.